touchdown in Vientiane about 5 hours later. Didn't want to bore you with the journey, so
it's really uncomfortable.
We'd spare you. But yeah, just gonna go out and get some food. It's absolutely roasting.
It really is. And then I'm here with my leggings, just rocking it.
Roasting.
No
first
breeze.
impressions?
It looks like a nice city, but it looks like very modern. Like there's all kinds of little buildings that I see, and everything's advertising Heineken and fast food, and I can't imagine it being somewhere that we'd want to stay for longer than necessary, but we're just going to go and have a little explore, and then we'll let you know.
Rubbish.
There's no flavour, and all you can taste is onion, and I don't like onion.
So where are we going now?
A pancake. Because that makes everything better.
What is happening, peeps? I'm gutted. I didn't take you guys with me when we went and got food earlier, like for dinner, so I didn't think it would be much to show. But it's quite lively at night actually. It's got like big screens in the like street and stuff, playing TV or whatever it was. Pretty cool stuff. But Vientiane is a lot more expensive than the other two places to eat food, that's for sure. We had to walk around for about 20 minutes, half an hour maybe, to try and find a place that had reasonably priced food. So you just be prepared if anyone comes here, it's quite expensive. We didn't pre-book anything, just turned up, and we managed to find a guest house it was a fan room with bathroom, and it came to 80,000 kip per night, which works out to be about £8. So that was really good. That was pretty cheap. There's guest houses absolutely everywhere, so if you do come here, you haven't got to worry about pre-booking anything, because there is absolutely loads of them. So the bus from Vang Vieng to Vientiane cost us 35,000 kip per person, which is £3.50, and it was about a 4.5 hour bus ride. So that's really good value for money for sure. £3.50 for 4 hours.
And they stop off as well.
Oh yeah, they stop off as well about halfway between to like a place that does like food and like toilet break and stuff. But it's only 4 hours or whatever it is, so it don't really need it anyway. But we're going to the Buddha Park tomorrow. So, well, I'll say tomorrow, in about 20 seconds time, as soon as I let you guys go. So fast forward, catch you in the morning. Morning peeps, today's our first full day in Vientiane. Just going to meet Jonathan and Lisette, and then I think we are going to the Buddha Park?
Yes, we are.
Going to the Buddha Park, I think.
Buddha Park, and then we're going to go to the Coke Museum, which is about the secret war and the war with Vietnam and the World War and the effects that the wars had on Laos as a country to this day. So that's
should be a busy day. So I need to eat as well. Hopefully I can get a bit of food first, because I'm going to be hungry.
Gonna got yourself a jam butty. Got our little set of wheels and a Scoopy meter right there.
Won't you be my hero? Please come capture me under the weeping willow. Wait and have a be. Won't you be my hero? Please
arrived at Buddha Park?
We arrived. So you have to pay for parking, you have to pay for entry, and you have to pay for your camera. Luckily, this camera was in the bag, so we only had to pay for one camera. But it cost 18,000 for 2 entries, a bike, and 1 camera. So I don't know how much it is like per person or per vehicle or whatever, but 18 for 2 plus a bike and a camera. £1.80.
So here tell me this, how you this to my sweet phantom kiss. Oh, how you living in all of my dreams. The cause of all the thunder, the cause of all the scream. My words you told me was somehow true. The scream that I've been singing has really been blue. And all that I can do is hand myself to you. And pray you let me love you. Don't be ruthless.
I think it's actually really interesting. However, I think that it would be a lot better if they had plaques with explanations as to what each statue represents, because you can clearly see that there are stories behind each statue, but you don't really know what the story is. Like, you can kind of guess. There's a couple where you kind of can see that, oh, this means this, but for the most of it, we don't really know what's going on. So we're going to do a bit of research when we get back tonight, but it would have been nice to be able to see like plaques with like a written description of what each statue represented. Would have made that a little bit more interesting, but still pretty to look at. I'm going to go and climb this big one in the background because, whoa, watch that step. Because before we came in here, we read that this is actually known as a pumpkin, and it represents heaven, hell and earth. So from what I can see, the round is the earth, and you have to go through hell on earth to be able to reach heaven, and the staircase apparently is a bit of a nightmare to climb. And then when you get to the top, obviously that's heaven, and you see over all of the park. You get a really nice view, so let go.
And myself to you. Pray you let me love you. Don't be ruthless. You know I've been waiting for you. You know that I've been waiting.
Represents the country, and all of the red dots and red areas on the map are bomb emissions from the US, and there was 580,000 bomb emissions on this country alone, and most of them, or many of them, have not exploded yet. They're still live bombs. These have been made by the visitor centre. These are actually like a replica of the bombs that were dropped. So they're known as cluster bombs, and mid-air the shell would open and it would let out clusters of these. And out of 260 million that were dropped, 30% of them didn't actually explode. So that means that 80 million of these still remain out in the open, which is what still affects people today. Up to 3,000 men and women go out into the open areas and try and find them with metal detectors every day on the east side of the country, because that's where most of them heavily remain.
Cluster bombers, amounting to approximately 80 million of these cluster bombers, failed to detonate, and many still lie in wait on the ground in
So here tell me how you this to my sweet phantom kiss. Oh, how you living of the thunder, the cause of all the scream.
So that is a replica of a lady called Thong she lived in her house for many years, and she had a 15-year-old daughter, and every night she cooked on the same fire, which was obviously buried into the ground. And this one specific night she lit a fire and there was a bomb underneath, buried a little deeper, and because the ground had heated up over a certain period of time, it detonated the bomb and caused shrapnel to fly into her head and her daughter's body. They both survived, but they do still have shrapnel in their bodies to this day. So that kind of situation made people start building stilts for their homes so that their houses were not directly on the ground.
What did you think of the Coke Centre?
I think that everyone should go, because I think as somebody who travels, you kind of hear the bad things that have happened to a country, but you can't really acknowledge like how devastating it is. And I already knew that America dropped 2 million tons of bombs on Laos, and when you hear that and then you watch the documentary that they play in there of people who it's directly affected, and you see the photographs of children who have been blown up, it's quite hard to watch and hear the stories of how it still affects them to this day. So if you're here, or if you're in any of the parts of Laos that have these museums or anything, then you should go. The one that we went to actually is free, and you put a donation in, and the money that they raise goes towards creating and building new prosthetics for victims that have been affected directly from the bombs that's still out in the land and stuff. So it's definitely worth a visit if you're here. And like I said, if you're anywhere else where they do have museums like that where you can learn a little bit about the country that you're travelling, then it's I suggest to do it. It's really worth it.
It's back up and running.
Well, we had dinner and we didn't show you because we nosedived into the plate because it was delicious, and we went to a place called Namaste Indian in Vientiane. So if you like Indian food, go there, because the 4 of us went. We're back with Jonathan and Lisette because it's our last dinner together before we leave and go our separate ways. So between the 4 of us we had 2 rice, 2 naan breads, 4 curries, 6 drinks, and it came to £20 English for the 4 of us to eat a feast. It was beautiful. Honestly, if you like Indian food, go to Namaste Indian.
Go for it.
We are currently watching these throw darts at balloons, and they're trying to win a minion, I think.
Never going to hear the end of it.
No, this is what they're trying to win instead of the minion.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a willy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Lisette wanted that.
Go, go.
Oh, unlucky.
How many have you got to get?
Whoa! One more and you beat John.
We're just as shitty.
So we're just on our way to the night market now. I don't think anybody won any gifts. So we're just going to go and have a look around here now and see. It's meant to be absolutely massive. Whoop, don't get run over. So yeah, I'll show you what's in the night market.
last night we were together. Because tomorrow we go to the Philippines and these guys are going to Vietnam, so we'll definitely meet up again soon. We're going to get run over on our last night, if that's okay. Because at least we'll be in next hospital beds to each other.
We'll die happy.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to finish it here. We are also going to link Jonathan's YouTube because he does some drone stuff. So
The drone general.
Yeah, so you can see that there.
Drone dummy.
And if you like what you see, give us a big thumbs up. And give us a subscribe because you love us and we love you back. And if you stick around, then we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, peace. Peace out.
It's the simple things in life.